Welcome back to another episode of Georgia Sports Nation. We got some more Hawks and Braves content on the way for you guys today. We're going to be discussing the Hawks' recent moves over the past 2 weeks. They waived Tyrese Martin, guaranteed Bruno, so he'll be starting the season, and unfortunately, Tyrese Martin will be cut from the roster. We got news that the Hawks are going to be playing the Mexico City regular season game versus the Orlando Magic. So we're going to be, just discussing what we think about that and what it might mean, what might mean for the Hawks and their international presence. And for the Braves, we're going to be discussing just how it's gone over the past 2 weeks with the slight struggle to begin the second half, and we'll preview the Brewers series, which starts tonight, with Yonny Chirinos making his Atlanta Braves debut starting on the mound. So without further ado, let's get into it. Will, what was your reaction to the news that hearing that Tyrese Martin was waived?
I was shocked at that, man. I was really shocked because he showed out. He showed out this summer league, and last summer league he showed out. So I thought he was making a step forward. So I was shocked about that, but I'm not surprised really now as you look more into it because we got a lot of wing players.
Yeah,
we got a whole lot of wing players. So we need more bids. We need more bids, and by them guaranteeing. Bruno, that means he gonna get more playing time this season, So hopefully that's what that means. He gonna get more playing time. But
I think for me, it's all roads at this point to us trading Capella. So for me, if I'm Bruno, my mindset going into this season is I might be a backup center in this league for the Atlanta Hawks. I might get a solid 10 to 12 minutes a night behind Onyeka Okongwu, and I need to be ready. That's the mindset I'm going to have if I'm Bruno Fernando. And there is a slight chance the Hawks keep Capella. Now, that is definitely not likely with all the reports we've seen, especially yesterday with 2 days ago with the NBA Central reporting that they're likely to trade Capella again, which we've known for the past month and a half. But it's Bruno, I think, can really see the floor this year, especially as a backup. And I think Hawks fans should look forward to that. I know when he was here, when we drafted him, it wasn't exactly the best product on the floor. But he improved in Houston. His shot blocking, he can spread the floor, he can shoot a couple threes now, and his rim running and lob threat is really great. So I think Bruno adds some depth to that backup center position, which right now we don't have. We wouldn't have if we didn't keep Bruno and we trade Capella.
I'm going to keep screaming to the rooftop. We do not need to trade Capella.
I don't hope.
I'm hating all these reports coming out. I'm hoping it just got done smoke screen, but we actually make ourselves worse by doing that. I mean, we become a smaller team. We become a smaller team.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. We become a small team, and I think on paper, if you just looked at a vacuum, the Hawks do get worse. But this is me coming from a guy that I think Onyeka Okongwu is ready to start, but I really love Capella. I mean, I think we're going to miss him so much. We will take a hit on rebounding. I think we will also take a hit on just fast break defense in general because Capella's one of those guys.
I'm hoping you're wrong. I'm hoping they ain't getting rid of him because that would not be a smart move. I'm telling you, just try to save some money. Capella ain't costing you that much damn money.
I mean, not upwards of 20 million. It is pretty expensive, but
his contract ain't long. He don't got much longer on this contract.
No, 2 years, I believe.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. So he's really not costing you a boatload of money. And
but for me,
to make your team worse. Just to save a little money, that makes no sense to me when you say you want a championship, but you diminish the talent you have on your team.
I'm saying the reason I say this is because, well, first of all, Clint Capella's, let's just call a spade. He's been a valuable member of the Hawks. I mean, if you don't think he should have gotten that extension, I think I don't know what you're talking about. He was in the 2021 season. Clint Capella was top 5 defensive player of the year candidate. Had multiple 2020 games. I mean, he was a monster in 2021. Now we haven't seen that same Capella, but he is still really valuable. The thing is, though, Clint Capella has a lot of good trade value. A lot of teams could use him. Dallas is definitely among that conversation. The Warriors are in that conversation. There's been reports that the Clippers are also in that conversation if they look to trade Ivica Zubac, which I don't understand why, but they've been linked to Capella, which is weird to me. But hey, I don't know the Clippers. So
you're right. A lot of teams can use him. A lot of teams like us, because we seen what happened when he was injured when he was going down injured. We struggled so badly of getting rebounds, and that was with your boy Double O in the game. So that is a terrible disaster waiting to happen if we do this. It's not making much sense to me business wise. It makes sense to me business wise.
Yeah,
as far as competition wise, it makes no sense to me.
I agree. We take a step back. But the reason why, if I'm putting myself in Landry Fields and a little bit of Tony Russell's shoes as well, it's that, okay, Clint Capella has a lot of trade value on the market. We know teams want him. So we have a guy on Onyeka Okongwu who is, I think he's completely ready to start. He's a top 6 pick, but if we trade Clint Capella now instead of waiting until the deadline of his last contract deal or even when a year goes by, now is when he's at his peak value. He might start to decline soon. He's getting up there. He's not old by any means, but he is getting up there in age. And I think now is the best time to trade him. That's what I would say. That's what I would think is going through Landry Fields' head right now, because you can get the most value for him, and you are confident that Onyeka Okongwu can do a great job as a starting center, which I am. I'll miss Capella.
I worry about what kind of message they're saying. You got a player that wants to stay in Atlanta. This the second player that wants. We know John Collins wanted to stay in Atlanta, but he wasn't productive. We know Clint Capella wants to stay in Atlanta. He has said it several times. He's productive on the floor. So this just sends, I think it sends the wrong message to me, like, we don't care what you done for us on the floor or whatnot, but if you got trade value out there, we're going to get rid of you. It's sending the wrong vibe. Now, I agree with you that Double O is ready to start, but I don't believe he's ready to start at the 5 full time. I think he's ready to go at that 4, like I've been telling you. He need to go at that 4. His body size scream 4. Because 5, he's gonna get pushed out the hole. We got a lot of big teams down here in the East.
Well, we've got let's think about it.
Cavalier, remember?
Let's think about it. So you obviously got the Embiids of the world. You've got Jared Allen, the Cavs with Evan Mobley, and then you have if you want the Giannis and Brook Lopez. But other than that, who has a dominant big that we're like that we'd be really scared of?
The Heat been giving us trouble.
But the Heat give us trouble with Bam Adebayo, who's the same height as Onyeka Okongwu.
What about Boston Celtics? Even with old Al Horford giving us trouble.
That's because Clint Capella doesn't like to go up the perimeter. If Onyeka, I will say this about that Celtics series. I thought Onyeka should have played more. I think Clint's a great player, but I think that's a really bad matchup for him. I wish we would have seen Onyeka a little bit more.
I think we just should have went to more zone. So
yeah, but you can't go against can't go to zone against the Boston Celtics because they have such great 3-point shooters. You can't do that.
I live with Al Horford knocking down the 3. I live with him knocking the 3 down. I can live with that. You don't want Tatum and Brown to get hot. And once they start to get hot, they get hot from going inside out. You feel what I'm saying? They like to drive, then take shots. You know what I'm saying? So they get hot from driving.
For me, it's actually the other way around. Like, I'll let Tatum or I'll let Brown get his 30 or 40. But to me, it's the others you got to stop. I don't think we did we did a decent job of that in the games that we won. But in the ones that we didn't, those other 4 games, it wasn't there. But now, last we digress there. But if we, like you said we have a lot of wing depth, right? And especially at the 2, DeJounte Murray's going to start. We know that. Then we've got Bogey. We've also got AJ Griffin. Now AJ has been linked to some in the Pascal Siakam potential trade, which we're still hearing rumors about. But Yeah, Tyrese Martin, even if he did make the roster, I think he would be back in the G League again this year. And the only reason I say that is because even if we had one shooting guard that was injured, say Bogey goes down with some knee issues, we would have AJ to back him up, and then we have DeJounte to start. I don't think we're cutting AJ's minutes to give minutes to Tyrese Martin. I think that would be absurd. What is your opinion on this?
Then you got Sadiq Bey that can play the 3.
Well, yeah, Sadiq. Well, I'm just talking about strictly playing the 2.
You talking about the 2 guard.
Yeah, strictly 2.
Okay, well, yeah.
Like, would you have wanted to see Tyrese Martin cut into AJ Griffin's minutes this season?
Well, no.
No. Okay. Yeah. I mean that was the topic of some conversations a couple weeks ago, but I thought that was absurd, to be honest.
No, because like it's crazy that they both play the same position though. Like,
yeah, the exact.
We so deep. That's the only reason we so deep at that position. So it's just like he would have just been a straight bench player if he would have just been on the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, and I wonder if. Oh, and I also wanted to discuss the signing of Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews, he's now 36 or 37-year-old. Can't remember which one, but he's 36 or 37 years old, and we know what Wesley Matthews is. He used to be a great defender. Now his legs have, his age is getting up there. His legs are a little bit slower, but he's still an elite 3-point shooter. But I don't see him getting much playing time because, to me, AJ still plays over him. Bogey definitely plays over him, and then DeJounte's there. So I think it was to just get a good veteran shooting guard for a young guy like AJ, maybe Sadiq Bey as well, to kind of just mentor and be that veteran presence at that position. What do you think?
I think he was pretty much basically just brought in for competition, to ramp up the competition. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically so nobody really just get comfortable with their job. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. To say, oh, this guy could play over me. I got to step it up now.
Right. So, like, that's what I'm thinking is all based on competition right now. With Quinn Snyder pretty much going 100% in his system right now. We only got to see him 20 games last year. Now he get the whole offseason to have the players to work on what he need them to work on in his system. So I think it was just pretty much competition.
Competition, yeah, okay. The thing about Wesley Matthews is if we get an injury at the shooting guard position, whether that be AJ, Bogey, or DeJounte, he can still slot in there and provide some minutes at the 2 if AJ or Bogey ever was needed at the 3. Let's say Sadiq Bey got hurt or something like that. He can play minutes at the 2 and still be effective. We know he can place the 4. I like his 3-point celebration, by the way. It's pretty nice, but with the bow and arrow. But I think it's a great pickup. 1, the veteran presence. 2, he's solid enough that he can play with an injury. And then 3, we know he likes to shoot a lot of threes. He's a catch and shoot guy, and that's what Quinn wants at the wings. We've seen him in Utah, playing with Bojan Bogdanovic, Georges Niang, these type of guys that are just the guys catch and shoot and hoist those threes. That's the guys that Quinn likes at the 2 and the 3, and I think Wesley Matthews fits that. But yeah, any other roster move stuff that you were interested in or wanted to talk about?
Oh no, I agree with that. I just want to see if Quinn, how many players will he play?
How many players? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. How many players
what's your prediction?
My prediction is he gonna do about 8. I'm hoping he do 10, but you know what I'm saying. But I'm thinking he gonna do an 8-man rotation.
8 is too thin for me. I think it will be 9.
What he do last year? Did he do 8 last year?
No, he did 9 because you had Onyeka coming off the bench, you had Bogey coming off the bench, you have Jalen Johnson coming off the bench, and you had Sadiq Bey coming off the bench. That's 4.
Okay,
so that's along the starter. So that's 9. He had a 9-man rotation.
He did have a 10-man.
Did have a 10-man for a little bit until age. So I'm saying 9. I think I think we're going to have Sadiq Bey starting at the 4. If the roster stays intact the way it is, and this is a small lineup, I know it is, but I don't think you can have Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, and DeAndre Hunter all starting in the front court with a pick and roll of DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. It's just the spacing isn't there. And same with Clint Capella. If he starts or if Onyeka starts, I think you have to include a shooter in there like Sadiq Bey to space that floor at the 4 or the 3 and give a little bit more opportunities for Trae and DeJounte to kind of work their way in.
See, that's what training and preparation come in at, Mikey. When we was growing up, everybody guarded whatever position. We went position based growing up. We went out and guarded the 3-point line and everything. But now we so position based, we think we need to sit down in the paint, stay right here. No, that's why if I'm running a team, I'm looking for athleticism because I want you to be able to move. I want you to be able to be where our weakness at. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not talking about on defense. I'm talking about offensively. Like if you have Sadiq Bey at the 4, DeAndre Hunter at the 3, and let's say Clint Capella is still on the team, so we'll have him starting at the 5. If you have Sadiq Bey at the 4, that provides a lot more shooting to space the floor on the offensive end. Whereas if you started Jalen Johnson, if he doesn't have that 3 ball, boosted up from what it was last season, that's a little bit iffy of spacing, in my opinion. But I do.
But that's still all in preparation. Work on it. These are basketball players. We all shot threes too. We didn't just take it to the hole. Come on now. It's all with preparation. What you comfortable with at the time. So if you're not comfortable with shooting threes, then you go on your off season. You start working on shooting threes so you can get comfortable with doing it. You know what I mean? So it's basically building that muscle membrane up. If you build that muscle membrane up to build that confidence of you shooting a 3, then you'll be more likely to shoot that 3 without hesitation. You see what I'm saying? So that's all it is. It's all in preparation. Like Kobe used to say, hey, take no days off. Great, you know what I'm saying? You really take no days off. You work on your craft. You perfect your craft when you're in a professional league.
So with Jalen Johnson, so if you had Jalen Johnson starting at the 4, would you have Jalen Johnson starting at the 4 currently? We know there's a gap at the 4 since John Collins was traded to the
You
Jazz.
already know who I have starting.
Oh no, you have Okongwu. You have Okongwu starting at the 4.
Yeah. I have starting at the 4.
Yeah, you got Okongwu starting at the 4.
I have Jalen Johnson being the backup to Okongwu.
Okay, I mean, well, I already voiced my opinion. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think we'll see Okongwu at the 4 this year, actually. But I mean, who knows? Maybe. But for me, I think it's Sadiq Bey right now. Jalen Johnson will get.
I like him better at the 3. I like Sadiq better at the 3.
Here's
because at the 4 he's small. He's small on defense at the 4. He's small.
He is small on defense at the 4. Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. But at the 3, he's also really slow. He can't keep up with the perimeter wings and guards.
Hey, guess what they go back to, Mikey?
Well, you're talking about like defending your position.
They go back to preparation, Mikey. You better go train with them track, boy.
But I don't think you can turn. I agree. I see what you're saying.
You can teach speed now. Yeah, you can teach speed. You can't teach heart. You can't teach size, but you can teach speed.
The offseason is every day. Yeah, the offseason is where the players will pick up some skills or refine some skills that they already have. But I just don't think you can have Sadiq Bey become this guy who can keep up with quick guards and wings in one offseason. It may take it may take like a couple. I think, especially if we're trying to become that next level top tier seed and playoff contender. Especially, we wanted to get home field advantage this year, unfortunately, and multiple Hawks said that at the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But for me, I think.
So Mikey, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if I gave you a $5 million incentive for you to go work on your feet work, you wouldn't go do it?
Oh, of course I'm going to do it, but I just don't.
Exactly.
Can you do it enough? Can you do it enough to be like sustainable over 82 games? That's the question.
We don't need him to be all pro. We just need him to be that little nagging fruit fly gnat out there. Just move, be in their way, get in their way. stick with him. I mean, till your help come. That's all I need you to do. That's all I need you to do.
Yeah, I hope he can. I'm just not sure about it. Well, I've been and in fairness to me, that I may have a little bias here. I'm lower on Sadiq Bey than a lot of people, but yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying. I look at it like the strength from the strength standpoint. If we have him at a 3, that's a strength for our offense. You feel what I'm saying? That's a strength.
It's a strength for our it's a strength for our offense.
For the offense, right?
But the defense for me is where we need to improve more this season. And defensively, he's better at the 4 than the 3, I think.
We just need him. Hey, we just need him to be available, aware. I mean, we need the offense to know that he's out there. I need you to be, you know what I'm saying, get active hands. That's all I need you to do. Get active hands, be at the spot, make him change. I mean, shooting is all about what you call it? I can't talk about shooting is all about, rhythm. So if you knock him off his rhythm, you got to make him reset. That takes down the percentage of him making that shot. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all I need you to do, man. That's all I need you to do.
Gotcha. All right. And I did also wanted to bring up the fact a little bit here that the Hawks are about to play a game in Mexico, in Mexico City in the regular season versus the Orlando Magic. What were your thoughts on that when you heard that? And what do you think this does for an Atlanta Hawks and international fandom?
Hey, it's great, though. I think it's great. It expands our fan base. We got so much hate in the city right now. Like, we need more fans somewhere. If our own city gonna hate on it, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, we got people in the city who want to trade Trae Young for like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and 2 first-round picks. Like, come on,
crazy,
man.
It's crazy.
It is. It's ridiculous. So
wherever we can get those loyal fans at, I want them. Give me the loyal fans. Y'all can have all these fair weather fans. You can keep them. You can have them. Give me the loyal fans.
Yeah, exactly. And we even in Twitter spaces right now, maybe you go in, I know there's a couple Brazilian fans that frequently come to our spaces at Hawks Fan TV. There are a couple UK fans as well. So we know the Hawks have some international fans, but this is the way to really get it on the map and really get our players more support.
The NBA chasing that money, so whatever somebody tell them they're gonna give them a large lump sum of money for them to come play in their country, get what? They're gonna be out there.
Yeah, 100%.
And it expands the brand, so it widens the market when they be looking for talent. So you got now if you get people in Mexico more familiar with the basketball game, now you got more talent to choose from,
Yeah, and Adam Silver has expressed this in multiple times to the media. He's wanting to make the game more international. Obviously, basketball in America is what it is the highest level right now. But you got EuroLeague, you've got the French League, the Spanish League, the Chinese Basketball Association is pretty big too. So this game is definitely an international game. And when you can have more people wanting to achieve their dream of making it to the NBA and impact more people outside of America, like we're seeing with now the top players in the game, you see Embiid, you see Jokic, you see Giannis, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even with in Canada, you got these guys, these foreign players who are at the top of the league at the moment. Luka Doncic. I can't believe I forgot him. But yeah, you've got these guys who are at the top of the league and everybody wants to emulate them. Now, the biggest way to do that is to expand your international presence. And I think this is a good move by Adam Silver. You get to bring a box office superstar to Mexico City like Trae Young, who's definitely going to want to put on a good performance there. And Orlando's going to know that as well. Paolo Banchero is going to want to as well. So I think it's going to be a fun game, and it's going to be an interesting atmosphere. I'm interested to see some international fans, how it's like, because we've been to some NBA arenas. Obviously, I've been to some Hawks games. Like, we know what the vibes in State Farm Arena are like when the Hawks are playing well. But what is it going to be in an objective at an objective location like Mexico City, even though Orlando is closer to Mexico City than Atlanta.
Well, then again, they're gonna be like that in-season tournament gonna be good for the league too. Gonna add a little more juice to the league. But as far as it being in Mexico, come on, how much money they gonna make for it to be in Mexico? It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be sold out.
Oh,
we know what 100%. It's gonna be. They don't have basketball games like that every day in Mexico like that of this statue. It's gonna be sold out.
Yeah, and you brought up the in-season tournament. It's kind of tough for me. I like the idea of an in-season tournament, but for me, I'm just like, I mean, it's there. For the players, I think it's going to motivate them to stay healthier, though, which will be really good so they can play more games because there's I think it was $50,000 extra if you do win per player on the team if you do win that in-season tournament. So they're going to have some motivation to do that. But as far as the seedings and groupings and how it's done, I don't necessarily hate it, but I'm not in love with it either. That's kind of my take on it.
Well, this is a test drive. They'll tinker with it and get it better. You know what I mean? So the thing that killed the NBA is this in-game management stuff. They letting these players sit down. Like I like the way how Michael Jordan them used to think. Like I'm coming out every night. I'm gonna play because somebody might could have bought spot they last dime to come see me play, but I'm sitting on the bench. I'm coming out and give all my all if I'm able to play. He played with a flute. This man played with a flute. Come on, man! Like all this game management stuff, you can game management a player with him playing. You can sit him down a couple minutes, but not sit him down the whole game.
Yeah, I see what. Yeah,
so I really don't like that. I really don't like that.
All right. Any other things you want to mention about the Hawks before we switch over to the Braves here?
Oh no, we good. I'm rolling with the truck. Let's roll.
All right. The Atlanta Braves. Now, we know the Braves had a historic and absolutely amazing month of June. Historic numbers, home runs, average, OPS, all those offensive numbers across the board. Now, in the second half, the offense has struggled a bit. It's been, I wouldn't say it's been something that you should be panicking over, but we have been a little homer happy, and we really haven't scored as many runs over the past few games. What is your level of concern with the offense right now, Will?
You already know I'm concerned, Mikey. We talked about this before they went to the All-Star break. Me, you, and Ant had the same conversation. Man. Now they coming out trying to swing for the right. Now they coming out. We still suck in runners in scoring position. We really need to get that together before we start the postseason, or it's gonna hurt us. I know. You were saying our pitch is okay because our ERA and stuff is we got one of the top ERA, but that could be skewed. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the eye test don't tell you the same. You know, so you got to look at the ERA of the pitchers and what the eye test is telling you, and the eye test is telling me something wrong. And it's not at the panic of like red alert panic, but it's like at the point where we need to pay attention to it before it become a thing. Because we know baseball is a game of stretches, and we don't want to go on that cold stretch for too much longer. You know what I mean? We need to start winning some series back again, and not start a trend of losing series. You know what I mean? Yeah,
we've only actually won one series after the All-Star break, and that was the Brewers series on the road. And yeah, and
we almost lost that one.
Yeah, not last night. Wednesday night's loss against the Red Sox, 3 runs. Again against the Red Sox, 1 run. The Brewers, we won with 4 runs, lost with 3 runs, won with 6 runs. Then against the D-backs, we lost with 13 runs, we lost with 3 runs, and then we won with 7 runs. For the White Sox, we scored 1, 5, and then 1, 9-0 after the All-Star break. So there's definitely been a drop-off on offense from June. And we knew that would happen, by the way. We're not saying that the Braves could have kept that pace on for the entire season because that would have been unrealistic. I mean, everybody was just hitting the cover off the ball. But
right, we knew they were going to drop off a little bit, but not this much.
Not this much.
Inconsistency. the inconsistency that been after the All-Star break has been overwhelming right now, and it's like at the point where we need to do something about it before it becomes too late. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm worried about.
So when you say do something about it, are you saying a trade deadline move, a possible lineup switch, move around the order? So what are you going to do if you're Brian Snitker or Alex Anthopoulos?
I'm thinking we need to get more power in that left field spot and change up that order a little bit. I would change up that order a little bit at the bottom between that between that 5 and 7 hole. I change that up a little bit.
So how are you switching that up? Because right now you've got Sean. You've got Sean Murphy. You've got Marcell Ozuna, and then you've got Eddie Rosario. That's 5-7.
Okay, well, it's gonna have to be. I put Sean Murphy in the 4 hole and put Olsen in that 5 hole.
Oh, I wouldn't move Olsen. I think Olsen's having a really good season. I mean, I like him at the 4.
It'll help Murphy out a little bit more if you put him behind Riley and in front of Olsen. He'll get more pitches to look at. But because he got somebody who in the 6 hole,
Ozuna.
See, Ozuna been in his cold streak again.
Yeah, he hasn't been as good in the second half.
He ain't been hitting as much right now. They not giving Sean Murphy much to hit. So Sean Murphy got to pick up.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you put him in front of Olsen, he gonna see more pitches because Olsen had not let up so far. He's still been swinging a hot bat. So that'll help that out. And if Ozzy be a little bit more patient at the plate, it'll help Acuna do his thing at the top.
Hopefully Ozzy, that homer last night for Ozzy and in Boston will get him going because he had been really struggling. Actually, it had been Ozzy, Murphy, Ozuna, Eddie, and Orlando Arcia. All of them have been struggling at the same time since the All-Star break, really. So when you have five out of your 9 guys struggling, that's what happens. You're just not going to score as many runs, and that's what we've seen, really.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I'm about ready to go get our boy back from goddamn Boston right now. I'm about ready to get him and bring him back right now.
There was that report that the Braves were interested in bringing back Adam Duvall, and Adam Duvall hit a homer against us in Boston.
I mean, long he stay healthy, he's that guy.
Yeah,
that's the only problem. If he get hurt, and then he's out. But if he stays healthy, he's never lacked at that plate. So I'm willing to go get that guy right now. And I'm pretty sure you won't have to spend that much for him. And put Eddie back in his reserve role. Because like too many games on his belt, he don't do so well. He don't do so hot.
That's the thing with Eddie Rosario. He's always been this streaky hitter. He was never going to be. I don't think he's going to be as bad as he is right now for a longer period of time. But he was never going to be as good as he was in the NLCS in the playoffs in the year that we won the World Series. It just wasn't going to happen. And this has been Eddie's normal career. He's just a streaky hitter. You know, when he's on fire, he can carry your team. But when he's going like he is now, it's kind of rough to watch. And especially because and it's affecting his defense too. Defensively, Eddie has not been the best, to say the least, over the past few weeks. I know he really had a rough series against the Diamondbacks. Sorry, White Sox. So it was.
But that's the kind of coaching style, Snicker plays, where he's a laid back coach. He's willing to sit back and let it come. Feel like it's all gonna come together. I'm more of a hands-on type. You know what I mean? I want to.
Oh. Did we lose Will? I think, but yeah, the Braves. We've discussed the offense. Now, in terms of the pitching side of things, there we go. Oh, he's back.
All right, man, screen yard, they kicked me out. I said, we know this the type of style like what Snicker like the coach. He is more of a laid back, patient coach. I mean, like to believe everything gonna come back around, just giving chance to work itself out. I'm more of a hand-on type coach. What can I do to fix this situation? What can we work on type? But that's what a lot of these teams don't do a lot of these days. Like you got to treat practice like in-game situations. You know what I mean? So when you in those game time situations, it's like second nature. It's like you don't have to think about it. You just react. You got to build that muscle membrane. You got to. And I don't think a lot of these coaches do that right now. I know we don't do it. You can tell. You can tell in the game we don't do that.
Oh, but yeah, like we've seen the Braves offense just slip a little bit. I don't want anybody to make believe that we think that the Braves need to make a major shift. We need to go out and sign like a star bat or a crazy good bat. But one bench piece would help. And we have Charlie Culberson. We have Charlie Culberson on the bench as well, just sitting there. He hasn't really played. He's basically like a mascot, just a club morale type of person up there in the dugout. So even he could be replaced if we need some offensive depth.
Right. We just need a consistent bat. We don't need an all-star bat. We need a consistent bat. That's all we need.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Now, we did enough in the first half to build enough cushion to not be so panicked right now. But, hey, we need to work on it before that cushion starts to diminish. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we are right now we are 10 games above the Phillies. They are on a currently 2-game win streak. We are on a 2-game losing streak with that sweep in Boston that we just suffered. But on the pitching side of things, well, first of all, let's go over the trades. We've got Pierce Johnson from the Rockies, who made his Braves debut in that Boston series. What did you think of him?
Which was a mistake. That was a mistake. I felt they should have let Strider finish that in and out. I think you trust your ace to get out that inning. You trust him to get out that inning.
I disagree because it was unraveling. I mean, he was cruising, then he allowed up a homer, a walk, and then another hit. And at 80 pitches, I think at that point you're cruising, right? You're on autopilot. Then you'll all of a sudden run into trouble in that 7th inning. And to me, I think we've seen a lot of those times where pitchers can get unraveled and it can get ugly. And I was fine with Snitker's decision to pull him, but I like Pierce Johnson of what I saw from him. The slider was really tight. I really liked his slider, but there's definitely something to be said for the importance of defense. And when you saw Ozzie didn't make that play at second, that could have been a potential inning-ending double play. Justin Turner was able to to take the lead with Boston with the double off the Green Monster, and then you had Adam Duvall homering to the opposite field in the 8th inning to really seal the door, and then Kenley Jansen slamming that door shut in the 9th inning with the save. So we gave that game away. So you see the importance of defense right there with Ozzie not being able to make that play at second base. It was it was only hit 78 miles per hour, but it was a short hop, and normally I'd think Ozzie makes that play. I'm sure he was kicking himself for it. It wasn't a routine play by any means.
That's another thing too, Mike. We've been a little shaky on defense lately.
Yeah, I will
We've been
agree
a little
with you.
shaky on defense, and I don't know what's going on. We need to get our feet back up under us. I don't know what they did down there at that All-Star break. Hey, I don't like it.
I hope we see a different Braves type of defense tonight, because like you said, we've seen Orlando with that weird play, Orlando Arcia throwing to third base, and then Austin Riley wasn't able to catch it. That brings back from a couple games ago. You've got Ozzie's defense, you got Eddie's defense in left field after the break hasn't been good. Sean Murphy's defense has been excellent. Same with Ronald Acuna and Michael Harris. Those guys, Austin Riley has had a little bit of a tough time too. But Acuna, right, Murphy, and Olsen, really those guys.
Yeah, Olsen, especially Olsen with them ground balls. I'm scared every time ground ball come in. Wait.
Well, he had one error. He had one error, but I think Olsen's defense has been phenomenal this season overall. I think Acuna, Murphy, Harris, and Olsen, their defense, and Orlando Arcia's has been phenomenal overall this season. But Arcia, Albies, same with Riley. Arcia, Albies, Eddie Rosario, those guys have been a little iffy. To start.
Hey, Olsen had a couple iffy plays too. Now he had a couple on.
No, he's had it. But overall, I think this season has been way better than last season defensively. He didn't start the season well defensively last year.
Now Austin Riley, he been playing Gold Glove defense over there. Even though his bat was cold for a minute, that defense been showing up.
Yeah, and that's where you never want your offensive slump to impact your defense. And Austin Riley is doing the exact opposite of that. He was tearing the cover off the ball up in Milwaukee when he had 5 straight games to homer, and he was playing great defense even before that, because before that he was really struggling. And when you can still contribute on the field like that, similar to what Michael Harris was doing at the beginning of the season, it keeps your confidence up, and then that's how you gain your bat back and the skills to be confident at the plate on the defense.
Right. Because your team can deal with the bat being cold for a minute, but sloppy defense, they would not tolerate that.
Yeah. So overall, what were your thoughts on Pierce Johnson when we saw him in Boston?
Oh, I think he looked good. Besides the fact that I thought, like, I really think Snooker used him too early. He wanted to test his toy out real quick. You know, he got that brand new package in the mail. You know, he wanted to test them out. But I really think he should have had Scribe to stick that out, because that's all the playoffs gonna be about. It's gonna be about those tough situations. It's gonna be those situations where you've been cruising for a minute, and you come across this inning where it seems like the batter's got your number. You're gonna have to figure out a way to get through that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I think he should have really just kept him in there at that point of time.
Okay. Yeah, I disagree, but I see.
Oh yeah, hey, Miss Pam, how you doing?
But there's definitely some merit to that, though. I can see, you know, Strider in the playoffs, he's gonna have to be in that tough situation. So yeah, overall, this pen is getting healthier. We've got AJ Minter coming back. Max Fried's in his second rehabilitation start as well. Unfortunately, though, Max Fried he had a setback, it was just an illness. Like, it wasn't an injury-related setback or a physical ailment. It was just the illness. Unfortunately, he was scratched and had to leave early from that second rehabilitation start. Hopefully, he can make that and then get back to this team as soon as possible, because we're getting healthier. AJ Minter, like I said, Dylan Lee still has to come back. Jesse Chavez and Nick Anderson are a little bit of a ways away.
We might need to go get Luke Jackson. He's been showing out this year now.
Yeah, Luke Jackson's been really good for the Giants. Luke Jackson's been really good. I don't think the Giants are going to sell, though. They're definitely in the wild card race. They've had a good year, so I don't think they would sell. It'd be good, though. I'd love to have Luke Jackson. I do think we get one more big arm, though. We made a relatively big splash with Raisel Iglesias right at the buzzer last deadline. I think we make a similar move here. I don't know if it'll be right at the buzzer, but a similar type of high leverage arm, I think that comes through.
Put Soroka in the bullpen. We'll be all right. We'll be set. Put him in the bullpen. Let him get that, you know what I'm saying, that stretch him out in the bullpen a little bit. Get him back to his starting rotation. I put Soroka down now. Get some good innings out of him.
Pamela asked, what about Tyler Matzek? Matzek, unfortunately, he's out for the season.
He's not going to be this year. Yeah, he's not going to be back this year.
He's out for the season because due to Tommy John surgery last offseason. You know, when he had his struggles late last season and into the playoffs, he went to get examined and found out he needed Tommy John surgery, and unfortunately, he won't be pitching this year. Definitely miss him, though. Those high leverage situations and a lefty. Without Minter and Lee, we really have no lefties in the pen right now that are very reliable. So, and we DFA'd Lucas Litke as well. So we don't really have much. This pen is thin. That's what I'll say. And when we get healthier, it'll be back to normal. I'm confident about that. But how long can we survive and tread water until the pen gets back to its full strength? I think we need to answer that question with a high leverage arm at the deadline. Hopefully a lefty. I wouldn't mind going in again a Roldis Chapman from the Royals, having a great season. I mean, we haven't really had a guy like that in our pen in a while. We have Ben Heller, who really throws hard, but he's no Roldis Chapman. And I think,
man, we get Chapman. That's a game setter, because that movie Iglesias to the 8-0.
Yeah, I agree. We could close Chapman. We can close with Iglesias. Even Minter has closing experience. Obviously, that wouldn't be. No. I'm not saying Minter could close. I'm not saying Minter would close. I'm saying You've got 3 guys with ninth inning experience, and you've got them lined up 7th, 8th, ninth. I mean, that's
right.
great because they know the pressure of that ninth inning. Bring that into the 7th and 8th. You've got Nick Anderson when he comes back, hopefully soon. He was put on the 60-day IL, so he's still a ways away. But hopefully he comes back in time for the playoffs. He even had ninth inning experience closing for the Rays. So we've got a lot of guys in this veteran bullpen that have closing experience. We just need them to get healthy, and I think we'll be all right.
You might have said something then. They need to go get Chapman. Go get Chapman and go get our boy from Boston. We'd be good.
Yeah, I'd love that deadline, to be honest. That'd be awesome. Any other overarching points before we preview the Brewers series starting tonight?
No, I'm just along for the ride. Let's go.
All right. So tonight, Yonny Chirinos makes his Braves debut. Now, Adrian Hauser. We just faced Adrian Hauser in the first game of the Brewers series. I believe it was the first game. Was it Hauser? I'm not sure if it was the first game of the Brewers series, but it was one of the games in the Brewers series. And I'm
thinking it was the second game because it was him and Strider facing out one.
Oh, yeah, yes, you're correct. The Braves, because that was South. Yes, you're right. That was Sal Frelick's debut, and boy, did that guy have a great debut. I didn't say this right now. Sal Frelick looks like he's going to be a great player in this league. Not a lot of power, but it's similar to like a Luis Ariz type guy who can get a lot of contact, great bat to ball speed, not going to strike out a lot, and his defense was phenomenal. So I'll say that about that young Brewers rookie. He looks amazing. But yeah, you were correct. Adrian Hauser started the second game of the Brewers series in which we lost 4-3. Now
which we gave up. We had that game too. We did
have that game, and then Sal Frelick happened. But we struck out a lot that game. Adrian Hauser is not a strikeout pitcher, but we had a ton of strikeouts that game, which generally homers and strikeouts, that's not the way you're going to win ball games. And that's what happened to us. Austin Riley's 3-run homer was the only runs that we scored that game, and that's
was the only offense in that game. It's 3-run homer, right?
Yeah, I mean, we struck out 14 times against a non-strikeout pitcher. You're going to lose the game if that happens. When you don't put the ball in play, bad things happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like working on in-game situations at practice. We're not doing it because we got 2-minute strikeouts. We're too sorry at runners in scoring position. It's ridiculous, man. I'm like, for a team to be this high up in the standings, to be that sorry in runners in scoring position, it's baffling. It just shows you how many homers we hit this season. Because like with running in scoring position, we are terrible.
Yeah, and we're actually not that bad. Yes. We're
not gonna talk about the old paper track. We talk about the eye test. What your eyes telling you, Mikey? What have you seen?
The eye test should go in conjunction with the stats. You shouldn't look at just one thing here and then look at another thing here. It's not all doom and gloom with the Braves and running some scoring positions. But yes, we've been struggling lately. That's what I'll say. I'm not gonna say, okay, the Braves was running scoring position. Okay, 255 average. We're okay. But I also will say that yes, we've been struggling lately. But I don't think it's one thing that we can say, okay, it's time to panic. We need to do something about this because that'll happen. Baseball is like that. Over 162 games. I know we want to score every single runner that gets on base. We don't want to leave a man on base ever in the game. But that's just not going to happen. I don't think it's time to panic too much with this offense, but I do think we need to cut down on our strikeouts because that has raised after the All-Star break. I think that is something that I am a little alarmed about for sure.
I can live with not scoring everybody, but at least be 50% on the scoring situation. Give yourself a shot.
50% is a 500 average. That's not going to happen.
Hey, that's what's running score. 50%. You can do 50%.
No.
Okay. Give me 40%. Give me 40%.
What teams do you know with a 500 average with runners in scoring position?
Hey, but look. The runners you got to think about the runners in scoring position. We be having a runner on first and second with no outs and don't score a run. That is terrible. All you have to do is you can bunt them over into scoring position. You know what I'm saying? Bunt them over. You have runners in second and third. Then you can pop fly run in. It's that simple.
So, yeah, I see what you're saying. Will, I'm gonna have you guess the Braves average with runners in scoring position and what rank they are in the league.
I'm gonna say that you already just said that averaging about 250 something.
No, that was just a hypothetical. Let's say you're batting 250, but what I know the exact number. What do you think it ranks in the league, and what do you think the number is?
I'm gonna say we round about probably like 280, and we probably rank like 6 in the league.
We're 266, number 1 in the league by 12 points.
What?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Will, runners in scoring position, that number will almost never go above 300 for a whole season. Never. It's I don't remember the last time I've ever seen that. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's 266 for the year. That's amazing. That no wonder we have one of the most historically.
Okay, I'm not talking about a whole. I'm not talking about a whole season. I know we're not gonna have a 500 average the whole season. But
266 is insanely good. Insane.
Okay, by the baseball numbers, yeah, I guess, but that's
it is. Well, we're talking baseball.
That's just like 25%. Come on, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's just how hard baseball is, to be honest.
Right, 25% get you $20 million a year. But yeah, but the reason it is because what I was talking about, man, they don't practice a lot of in-game situations at practice. That's why a lot of these batters be cold. They don't use they got an in stadium batting cage down there. They can have players go down there who ain't been in the game, go practice a couple swings down there. They don't utilize the situations that they have, So I just think different. I think differently, That's what it is.
Because most of the time, I mean, if you look at it, a batting average for the MLB, you want it to hover around 300. If you hit 280 with 30 homers and 100 RBIs, that's an insanely good season.
Right.
But think about it. You're only getting a hit 28% of your at bats.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is a hard sport.
It is. You gotta have great.
In my opinion,
have great hand-eye coordination. You gotta have.
Hitting a baseball is probably the hardest skill to do in any sport. I think that goes. That is. I will die on that hill. That it's not the hardest sport, but individualized skill. Hitting a baseball from a major league pitcher is the hardest thing to do in any sport to ever exist.
Yeah, and because the ball movement.
Exactly. So when you think about 28%, and that's a great number, you got to think in terms of those numbers, not like 50% or 40%, because I think those numbers are unrealistic. Now that could happen for a couple games, but over a week.
That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a couple of series. Give me that in a couple of series. You ain't got to do the whole year. I mean, give me that in a couple of series. Let me see that.
Yeah, that's what we were doing in June. We were near 300. We were near 300 for a month with runners in scoring position. That was why we were scoring so many runs.
And that's why that average, the yearly average is up there. That's when I say the numbers can be skewed because we could have had a good month, like you just said, and what we was hitting the cover off the ball, then come down the next month and we ain't doing too much. So it's just like I'd rather you do the consistency. Give me a consistent 280 or something like 270. I'll take 270. Give me a consistent 270. I'll take that over you doing giving me a month over 300 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Just give me consistency.
Okay.
Like the Dodger team we used to face on them. When you go to play Colorado Rockies at their place, facing them like that, give me that consistency where you know it's gonna be a dog fight when you play them.
Gotcha. The last series we faced with the Brewers, we won. Obviously, it wasn't like a landslide. It was a crazy series. But with the Brewers, what am I saying? For the Brewers, you have Devin Williams in that bullpen. You have Joel Payamps. You have what's his name? Pedro Figueroa, the sinker bowler. So these guys have a really good pen. Now, we won that series because we were able to score a few runs late. Can we score enough now? Can we score enough runs to not have to put as much pressure on the offense to deal with that really good Brewers bullpen, especially with Devin Williams at the end there? That is going to be the key to this series for me. Let's get ahead, try to get ahead early so that the Brewers can't use their ace quality arms late in the ball game in the bullpen.
Right. Let's not score all the runs in the first inning and be cold the rest of the game. I'm so tired of that. Come on, man. Yeah,
that's my key to the series. You just got to keep scoring throughout the game. Give pitchers different looks. What about you as far as your an individual key to the series?
My key to the series is just keep the line moving. Keep the line moving. Stop swinging for the fences. I look at the game. I be looking at so many games like that. They swinging for the fences, and it be having me cussing the TV out. I ain't trying to buy another TV. I'm just be patient up there. Be patient. Make the pitcher beat you. Make him beat you.
Or anything else before we wrap it up here?
Nah, we ain't spoke on everything, man.
All right.
Unless you're just trying to stay on longer.
All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to end it there. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Georgia Sports Nation. Make sure to tune in next week, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back next week with more Hawks and Braves content. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.